Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Amanda Head, the Hollywood Conservative, and this is your Hollywood Minute. As most of you know who watch my videos frequently, I very often bitch and bemoan about Los Angeles and how this city is run. And a lot of people say, move out, get out of California. And while I think and hope that that will happen someday, I will just say that that has not happened yet because I think that we are called as believers to build ministries within the communities that we're in. And as much as I think that California is the number one candidate for falling off into the ocean, and I don't necessarily hope against that all the time, I think that California is where my ministry and our ministry is right now. As most of you know, my husband works in Hollywood. And within this city, we can be a light, and that's what we're trying to do, because goodness knows we're not needed in conservative areas. We are needed in places like California. And if conservatives keep moving out of the blue states, and to, safe harbors like Florida and Texas, then, states like California, will be completely lost. And despite the politics and despite the fact that Democrats have tried to do everything they possibly can to destroy these states, there is still so much natural and God-created beauty in California and some red areas, geographically speaking. And that's what I'm fighting for in California. So, but I'm going to go on to bitch and bemoan California. Okay, so as most of you know, our sheriff, Alex Villanueva, he's a Democrat, so I don't always agree with him on everything, but he, I think, would be considered like a Democrat of old. He is trying his best to make improvements in this city, but unfortunately for him, he seems to not be able to coordinate with our LA County Board of Supervisors. They have made it very hard for him to do his job as LA County Sheriff. So he spoke at a panel with two other sheriffs in Southern California, the sheriffs of San Bernardino County and Riverside County. So those are all either Los Angeles or Los Angeles adjacent. And unlike Los Angeles, the sheriffs in San Bernardino and Riverside are able to work with their county board of supervisors. So you see a lot of the problems that exist in LA, the homelessness, the crime, all of that is not necessarily happening to the same degree in Riverside and San Bernardino. So Alex Villanueva was discussing wokeism, and he said that he hopes that there's a referendum on wokeism in 2022, arguing that so-called defunders have wreaked havoc on public safety, as evidenced by the worsening homeless and crime crisis. In the past 10 years, Los Angeles County has spent a conservative estimate of $6.5 billion to address the homelessness issue, only to see the number of homeless people living in the county increase from about 39,000 people to more than 83,000 in that time frame. I will remind you that all of the congressional districts that make up Los Angeles County, they are all Democrats who represent those districts. It's Adam Schiff, it's Maxine Waters. These are the folks that are contributing to this crisis. And not that Adam Schiff spends a ton of time in Los Angeles. His office is in like East Hollywood. I think it's like Hollywood Boulevard and Western, somewhere around there. And he doesn't really see what's happening in his own district. And the wokeism is out of control because you have people who live in Brentwood and Pacific Palisades and Beverly Hills and all of these bougie areas, people who are in the film industry. They are either actors or they are producers, film executives, people like that, who claim to be woke and claim to want to build up the oppressed, and yet within their own areas, they are starting to see the homelessness crisis and the crime crisis hit them as well. As some of you know, the crime that took place, especially during the George Floyd riots, that was on Rodeo Drive. And then last Christmas, a music exec's wife was murdered in her home during a holiday party. So when this type of stuff hits their doorsteps, hopefully they will start paying attention. I mean, the ideal scenario would be that they would vote differently, but I think that that's probably giving them too much credit. I also wanted to bring up something that my partner in crime, John Solomon, published over the weekend on justthenews.com. Los Angeles sees over 50% increase in homeless deaths during COVID, but overdoses are the leading cause. Not COVID. So yeah, people who are homeless died at a 56% higher rate during the first year of the COVID pandemic than the previous year, but drug overdoses remain the leading cause. From April 1st, 2019 to March 31st, 2020, LA County recorded 1,271 deaths of homeless people. The following year, April 1 to March 31 of 2021, homeless deaths increased by 717 up to 1,988 deaths within the homeless community. Drug overdose homeless deaths skyrocketed 78% from pre-pandemic, leaping from 402 to 715 in 1 year. Homicides also increased by nearly 50% from 70 before the pandemic to 104 post-COVID. That's private citizens. That's not even taking into account the spike in ambush-style attacks on cops. And the woke agenda is all about defunding the police, and yet these are the rewards that we are reaping here in Los Angeles. And my only hope is that people start to wake up, because you know what, you want to be woke in areas and try to strong arm certain people into certain jobs or certain board positions or certain acting roles because you think that their community is underrepresented. Fine. But when it comes to public health and public safety, that's where you have to draw the line, because that's where common sense has to drop in and make an appearance every once in a while. Hi. Oh, man. I don't love LA, but I have a heart for LA, if that makes sense. Anyway, head over to my website, thehollywoodconservative.us, sign up for my daily emails, go to MyPillow, and use my promo code Hollywood. Everybody have a great Monday. See you tomorrow.